So guys, welcome back to Six Figure SMMA. Today we're going to be talking about how I built my team. Let's get into it. All right, so the three things that I built my team on was number one, flexibility, number two, communication, and number three, trust. All right, so let's get into it. The first thing that I asked myself, and you have to ask yourself, is what is my service list like? Is there any point in even reaching out to or having a quote unquote team and having, say, a Facebook advertiser in the team when you just don't really need it for your service list? Or say, is there really a point in, say, like graphic designer if you're mainly just doing, say, like paid traffic? Look, like all of my paid traffic and all of my ads I just do within Canva. I do them myself. So no, I don't really think you need a graphic designer for that, right? So retainer versus payroll. Now this is super, super key. If you are watching this, I am guessing that you are not looking to, you're not at the stage right now, or you're not looking to payroll people. First of all, you have to be sitting on a bit of cash or an investment or something along those lines to payroll. Now, when you payroll, right, and this is not legal advice. I don't know what the laws are in your country, city, state, whatever it may be. So this is not legal advice. No disclaimer. When you payroll, at least in London or in America, I know, you have to focus on, like, you have to give them health benefits, insurance. Like there's so, like, they're literally like your own, like they're just your responsibility, right? There's so much that goes into it, right? And say you're paying someone $2,000 a month. First of all, that's net. Right, so you're actually paying them a lot more. Most of the time, someone's salary is net, right? So 2,000 is actually however much, pre-tax. And then, you have to, as I said, you have to focus on things like pension. I'm pretty sure you have to give them pension. You have to give them insurance. You have to give them like healthcare, like vacation days. Like, I would stay away from it entirely if I were you. Conversely, you can just get someone on a retainer. And we'll talk about different sort of models here. You can get someone on commission, you can get someone on retainer, you can get someone on day rate, you can get someone on task rate. Like, there's so many ways to go about things. But ask yourself for, the real team members, do you want to have them on payroll or retainer? And I would definitely recommend retainer because, first of all, they tax, like, say you pay them 2,000, they get paid 2,000, and then they have to, file their own tax, their own personal income tax. And then also you don't have to worry about any of the other sort of like liabilities and stuff like that. So yeah, I would recommend retainer if I were you. The thing with your team is you need to duplicate your values, and this is incredibly, incredibly important, right? So every single one of my team members has the same sort of values and understands my vision and can execute on it. Next thing is know the client and use the right outsourcer accordingly. Guys, I'll be honest, there were clients that, like, I could tell were about to sink, if that makes sense. Like they were about to, like, the relationship was dwindling, or they got too big for me, and they were about to leave. And I in terms of my team, I have the top tier, the people that I use 90% of the time, and then I have cheaper people below that, right? So for example, if a client comes to me personally, and I know them personally, and I know their network, and like they referrals, stuff like that, I will only give them the best. And if I can't give them the best, I won't even take them on because my reputation is tarnished if it goes poorly. Whereas, say for example, a cold client, someone that say my sales guy cold calls someone, I show up to the meeting, I close them, and then now they're a client, but they have technically no ties to me. I'll be honest, if I'm entirely honest with you guys, I go cheaper on my outsourcers because I'm just less concerned with that, like, extra, like, for me, profit is far more important. I meet a lot of agency owners, and say they even make $500,000 a year, and they're only taking home like 200K of that, and I'm like, ouch. So unless it needs to be my top tier, which actually, like, as I said, probably around 80% of the time it is, then I'll use a cheaper outsourcer if it gets the job done. Okay, so Honesty over everything, guys. This is really really important. With my outsourcers, I make huge profit margins. Like, I mean, ridiculous. But I tell them, I'm like, look, you know, you're great, but I could also get someone in Taiwan to do this for like 1/10 of the price. So, I mean, you're great, but you're not that great that I'm gonna like give you 30 times what I could get someone else to do this for, right? But once again, I'm more than happy to pay 10 times as much to get honesty, communication, and trust, and flexibility. And we're gonna go over my team members and stuff like that. But it's very very important that you are honest with your team members. You're honest about how much you're making, how much profit you're making off their work and stuff like that, and whether they're even comfortable with that. Because say for example, say my copywriter and social media manager, he wouldn't know how to get these clients. Say my sales guy, he is great at getting cold calling, and he can even close in the meetings. Like, I don't even need to show up to the meetings, honestly. He could close the meetings for me, but he just doesn't know how to do Facebook ads. Like, he doesn't know how to deliver results, and he hates that side of things, right? So we have an honest sort of back and forth, and he understands his role and I understand my role. Okay, so honesty over everything. Here is my team, guys. I'm breaking it down for you guys. First of all, my top guy, my sales guy, I give him 50% of the first month. Now, 50% of the first month, that could be anywhere from, I refuse to take on a client for less than $1,000 a month, which is roughly $1,400 a month or something like that. And honestly, at this point, I don't take on a client for less than $2,000 a month. So, he's getting $1,000 per client that he closes. Even if it's, say, like a consulting job, that's even, once again, like, consulting jobs are big. He'll get a smaller percentage of that. But say I get a whale. I've actually never gotten a whale from him. But yeah, say a whale that's like a $6,000 to $8,000 client. He could potentially be making 4K off of that. But usually he works within the territory of $2,000 to $3,000 clients. Those are usually the ones that he is able to seal the meeting with, and I'm able to go close. So that is, as I said, that's $1,000 to $1,500 a month. And I actually it got to a point where he was landing me so many meetings that I actually had to tell him to stop. I'm like, dude, for the next month and a half, I'm working on this big campaign with one of my clients, and I've just got a lot of stuff going on. Like, easy now, right? So that's my sales guy. I give him 50% of the first month. However you guys want to strategize it. Another great thing to do would be, like, if you're not as confident that you can keep the client around, and if I'm entirely honest, what another thing you can do is you could do 10% a month and go, look, dude, you're making passive income 10% a month. Say like the client is even $1,000 client, dude, you're making $100 a month, right? And this could be a client for 2-3 years. And if you're someone who's not as confident that you could keep people around, you basically, like, it's cheaper to do that until month 5. But if you're someone that's confident that you're going to keep them around, then if I were you, I would just do 50% the first month. Next one is my copywriter plus distributor. Now, he's a really, really cool guy. His name is Kieran, and he actually works at Times Magazine, their marketing subsidiary, and he works off of a per client set amount. So to write up all of the social media captions, and to actually distribute it, to post it, so I don't have to do any of that stupid shit, I charge a client for that $997 or £1,000, so $1,400 roughly. But let's go pounds for this. £1,000, and then £150 of that is ad spend. So £150 ad spend to actually grow their social platforms, and then I pay him $150. So from £1,000 service, I literally do zero work, like nothing, and I make £700, which is roughly $1,000 passive income. So you can see how, rather than some other just fucking ridiculous course that's telling you all this, like, that has gotten you so mixed up, the fact that even we have gone through this entire process where I'm showing you systems, scale, like, you know, showing you all of this. The fact that I'm showing you all this means that, you know, you can duplicate you can duplicate these services. You know, Kieran can handle probably around 5-6 clients, right? That's $5,000 to $6,000 a month passive income, right? We're not at that stage, right? I don't like to operate within that, like with small retainers like that. But I'm just saying that the opportunity is always there, right? So, you know, I pay him 150 as I said per client. 150 goes towards ad spend. That leaves me with £700 profit, roughly $1,000. And as I said, for me, honesty over everything. He knows how much I make from it, and he also understands that I could get someone in fucking Slovakia to do it for like a third of the price, or someone in like Philippines to do it for like 1/10 of the price. So, you know, that's cool. Next one is my graphic designer. Now, my graphic designer, because I use him so often, and he helps my personal brand and stuff like that, he just got a set wage, so sort of that retainer basis. And now it's actually at the stage where I actually don't even pay him anymore, because I bring him so much business that, I mean, like, either I could, in this world, it's very normal to take 20% commission, 20% commission, 30% commission, it all depends. So because of the amount of business I bring him, it's actually cheaper for him just to work for free, or without charging that old retainer, and just, I don't take any commission off of the work I send him. So, you know, that's my graphic designer. And now hopefully you're starting to see, once again, let's jump back on my computer. My team, my sales guy, success driven, paid. My copywriter plus distributor, if he is working and he's getting paid, it's only because I know I'm making money, right? And my graphic designer, I literally leverage my network to make it so that now I don't even have to pay him, right? Because I bring him ridiculous amounts of business, right? So literally my team's overhead is zero, right? The only person that kind of like gets paid, obviously, as I said, they all get paid, right? The sales guy gets paid off of success fees. The graphic designer, used to get paid a monthly retainer. Now, you know, he gets paid by the fact that I send him thousands of pounds of business. And the copywriter and distributor, he gets paid, but he only gets paid if I know I'm getting paid, right? So that's kind of how I structure my team. And guys, as I said, my team is congruent to my dream agency. Remember what I talked about at the beginning: flexibility, communication, and trust. To give you guys some info, my sales guy, you know, he's actually one of my good friends, lives in London. My copywriter and distributor lives probably around 15 minutes from me and goes to my gym. My graphic designer, he was actually a follower of mine, right? He was a fan of mine. All of these people live in London. If I needed to get my entire team together, have a meeting, could do that like in a second, right? So my team is congruent to my agency, right? As I said, all these people I could get way cheaper, but I like that communication. I like that trust. Action step, guys. What does your team list? Okay, what does your team list look like? You know, do you even need a team yet? Spend 10 minutes strategizing, guys. For a lot of you, you won't even need a team, or you won't even need to think about like bringing together a team. But that said, it's always kind of good, you know, if a client's like, hey, you know, I'm not too into this whole paid traffic thing, but I'd love for you to manage our social media for a cheaper price or something like that. Dude, I could realistically take on clients for £500, you know, £500, and spend maybe only £50 on, or, you know, even at that 500 range, in all fairness, not even like put money towards ad spend, right? I could take on clients for £500, still pay my guy £150, and I'm still making £350 a month with little to zero work, right? So it's always useful to have these outsourcers and this team built up of, you know, people you trust and whatnot. So guys, I will see you in the next module.